I've been doing expeditions in hot deserts and cold countries for nearly 40 years, and one thing they have in common is very often there ain't nothing to support you. A lot of our expeditions are to beat existing world geographical records and challenges. The first ever polar journey around Earth, that was 52,000 miles. And when you're on the ship and the icebreaker or whatever, there's no problem. When you get out on the ice and you're hauling your own kit, A, it has to be robust. B, it has to be able to go down to extreme temperatures. It has to be something which you know that you can rely on.
So, off-grid power, it's quite fortuitous, Rand, that we're here, arguably at the home of expedition and exploration.
Yeah, going back 300 years. All the Scott, the Amundsen, the blokes looking for the Nile, none of them had off-grid power, but I bet if they had.
It's an exciting product, isn't it?
Quite a setup in front of us. I mean, first time we've seen it squash.
Yep,
and
first time on it.
I mean, it kind of looks like a Krypton Factor Meccano test. Essentially what we have is the hub of the device. This is the battery, super compact, and lots of ways it can be charged.
The solar, the wind, the crank, and then the AC. Just over a kilo with all these different options, which of course you can break down and just take one of them. And I guess as well you can use it as an individual cell, so that you could take it fully charged if you were doing just a weekend trip. I like the shape of it.
And actually, fit in my back pocket.
The feel.
I bet it does fit in my back pocket.
We don't even take toothbrushes because they weigh too much and they're not vital. Really? But this is vital.
Well, when we used to climb, all you used to do is eat chocolate.
I know, but I've changed since then.
I think a big thing is the peace of mind, isn't it? You know that in your backpack is a piece of kit that is just going to give you power, whatever the conditions and whatever the situation. And that is massive.
So often you don't get the sun when you want solar charging, but you get the wind and vice versa.
Bigger picture, I mean, it's not just us that needs off-grid power. I mean, it's not just expeditions or people doing explorations. I mean, you've got the military, crisis relief, flood relief. Having the ability to charge things off-grid is absolutely essential. As things evolve over time, we become more and more dependent on being able to power up equipment. And one of the reasons why people like myself are becoming more and more successful in the mountains is that ability to get information. And of course, any device which we use to do that, be it a laptop, sat phone, BGAN, it needs to be charged. And we're days away from the nearest power source. So to have the Powertraveller products is absolutely essential. And to have products that work, it's all well and good having products there, but these things need to work. We're in a situation where if we need to call a rescue, if we need to have a weather forecast coming in, I don't want to be dramatic about it, but it can be the difference between life and death. So we need to use the best available, and Powertraveller is, simply put, the best. So Rand, you might remember 4 years ago we were both on top of Everest, and all the batteries we had in all the cameras were dead, affected by the cold, and we couldn't charge.
And the BBC News was saying, don't come down unless you get the image on the top.
Luckily we did come down, but this would have solved all the problems, especially the hand crank.
This has got a gear ratio of 32:1, 5 volts to 2 amps, just amazing. And all you have to do, press the knob on the side, put it on correctly, and then hold it in whichever hand, left-handed, right hand. And you don't have to do it quickly. Slowly is fine.
Ergonomically designed so that it's comfortable. You can move both hands and perfect.
And if you've got cold hands, of course, it helps warm them up.
Yeah, it keeps you warm in your tent, something to
dual
pass the
purpose.
time.
In the old days, we used to have them strapped onto your knee in the tent, and you'd be going round and round like that. And you had to go very fast in order to get power into it. And the other thing, in the old ones, the crank is all over the place, difficult to stow. It's like glasses which keep coming open. But this one, boom, boom, Bob's your uncle. Put it in your pocket, no problem.
I'm really excited about the Powermonkey Expedition because it's across the board, it charges everything. It's a small, lightweight unit. It's completely water and weatherproof, and it's perfect for putting inside my rucksack. When I went to climb Mount Everest, I was researching different power solutions, and that's when I came across Powertraveller, and I wanted to use their products. I'd heard great things about them. I started to use their products and they were brilliant, and the key thing for me was they were small, compact, lightweight, rugged, and most importantly, reliable. You know, there isn't a backup after that. The reliability is the single most important thing. I absolutely need to know that the kit in my backpack isn't going to let me down, and the Powertraveller equipment never lets me down.
At the moment, there's 4 ways of charging. One of the ones that I'm really excited about is the wind power.
Because you can talk into it.
You can talk into it. Very good. It is super easy. So you just get these 3 little sort of wind arms which just slot into the cap on top. You feel it slot in place like so. And this is a really clever thing. So on top here, we've already seen Rand with the hand crank, but this has got like a second spindle inside a spindle, because obviously wind power. It
needs less resistance.
Exactly. Compare that to the hand crank.
So that's great, and obviously the unit's got some weight to it, but what if it is really windy, as it sometimes is on mountains and things like that?
They've produced this super lightweight aluminium structure, beautifully finished. It really is. It's the sort of thing that in a minimalistic house, you can imagine this as a little thing on a sideboard.
It's a bit of artwork.
No, absolutely. We have to remember to take the cap off. So we take the bottom cap off of that. The unit can spin up to about 3,500 revolutions a minute. It will start powering up at about 12 knots. And if it is really windy, like you say, you can bungee it down so it's not going to blow away.
Say it's windy outside your tent, you've set this up and the wind is powering the battery, which could take, say, 10 hours to fill it up. Imagine the sun's shining as well. It's got simultaneous chargeability. So you could use the solar panel, connect that up to the kit to charge the battery as well, which would reduce the charging time down to just 5 hours. And what Powertraveller have done, which is incredibly clever again, is when you connect things together, they've made a completely waterproof connector, because the kit's waterproof, but they've gone on to think, aha, what about connecting it? You just take this cap off, and this other connector, it's got 5 rings in here, simple, and then there's the 5 connector points on here. So you wind that on there like that. Then you just take this waterproof connector apart, and this is the only product I believe that you can have simultaneous charge that's on the market. I haven't seen anything else that can use wind and solar at the same time. Screw that together. There we go. That notch fits into there nicely. You clamp that around there and pull the final connector over. There we go, fully waterproof.
It encompasses everything which the company stands for. It is a complete off-grid power unit. It's solar, it's wind, it's, you can hand crank it, you've got AC. In the future there's going to be like a butane turbine. There's talk about being able to use it in running water in a stream. I'm really excited about using this in the field. It's going to eradicate. So normally when I travel, I've got all these bits and pieces and different devices and different connectors, and you can never find the right one. And now it's been streamlined into one unit. What we've got here is just some of the items that we can be charged from the Powermonkey Expedition. Simple things like the Iridium sat phone here. I've also charged my my Thorier from the original Powermonkey, going through the Surefire head torch, and then some of the funkier items as well down your end of the table. Squash.
Yeah, we've got the iPad mini, the iPhone. We've even got the 12-year-old Nokia still going strong.
Nowadays a lot won't, but this will even do the ones from 2 decades ago.
You've got your Garmin GPS, a watch, heart rate monitors, etc., etc.
Okay, so just to show you how versatile this is, I've disconnected the waterproof casing so that you can see the points a little bit more clearly. And it's got 2 outputs, the 5-volt 800 milliamp output there. You've also got the 12 volts out. If you've got an adapter that you use in your car for a car charger, you can just pop this one on, and anything that you'd charge in a car you can charge on here. And then you've got the 5 to 15 volts in, which is important because you've got the variety of chargers there, the AC charger and also the solar charger. And they can all 3 be going at the same time, pop the cover on, and away you go. One
of the beautiful things about this whole setup, which we've got in front of me here, is that we've essentially got the battery unit here. It's being charged if we were outside by the wind, and also the solar. And we've got 2 devices on charge at the same time. It's a term known as daisy chaining. The wind and the solar are actually charging the battery we're not bypassing the battery, we're going into the battery, and it's the battery itself which are charging, in this case, two pretty essential items. We've got the Surefire headlamp and an Iridium sat phone, the Iridium coming out to 5 volts and the Surefire out to 12 volts. This is what's so unique about the Powermonkey Expedition, the ability to daisy chain like this. Charging the battery from 2 separate sources and also the ability to charge multiple devices. Very, very special. What the guys at Powertraveller have done, they've gone out and they've produced a device which fulfills all the requirements which are needed for off-grid power. Above the snow line, at altitude, this thing, very simply put, it just works.
A previous model I've tested at -50 centigrade at the bottom of the world, where if you need rescue, you've got to rely on it, and that and all the other Powertraveller products that we've used over the years really are reliable.
I think the Powermonkey Expedition just really is the ultimate bit of kit. You can take it anywhere in the world, and I absolutely want it in my backpack.
We're in a situation where if we need to call a rescue, if we need to have a weather forecast coming in, can be the difference between life and death.
There isn't a backup after that. I needed the kit in my backpack to be reliable.
It's solar, it's wind, it's, you can hand crank it, you've got AC.
It's a small, lightweight unit. It's completely water and weatherproof.
When you get out on the ice and you're hauling your own kit, A, it has to be robust, B, it has to be able to go down to extreme temperatures.
So we need to use the best available, and Powertraveller is, simply put, the best.